So let's talk about how to get business credit quickly without having to show financials. This type of webinar training, it's not just going to be PowerPoints. There's also going to be screen sharing and things like that. I think you're going to learn and get a lot from the webinar if you take notes and just pay close attention. So here's what you're going to learn today. You're going to learn exactly as I promised, how to get funded quickly without showing any financials. We're going to talk about why this is so important, why this is so important now, how this works for others, and how this can work for you. I'm going to share with you my new system of getting funded. It's working right now in this market, and your next steps. So who is this not for? This is not for those that are not willing to do the work to see results, right? So just like if you join a gym, you got to put in the effort of, working out, eating right, and things like that. So I'm going to share with you actionable tips that you can actually implement in your business and step by step that you can take. But this is not for those that don't feel like doing any work. Okay. So if you're in the wrong place, now you know, right? Now, who is this for? This is for those that are looking to get funded quickly as a way to either pay off your debt, fund your business idea, or even scale your business. So how many people in the room already have business credit? Type into the chat. Randy says no. Okay, cool. All right, so you don't have any business credit yet. Lisa says no. Norman says yes. Jackie says yes. All right, good. I have 300K in credit right now. Awesome. No business credit yet. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, so this is good. This will work for you whether you're brand new and you don't have business credit yet, or if you're like me and you have 7 figures in business credit and you never had to show tax returns or financials, in many cases not have to walk into a bank, you're going to see value in today's webinar. Now, I do have a special bonus. If you stay to the end of the webinar, I'm going to give you a couple of things. I'm going to share with you some hot lenders that we just got approvals with this month, in the last couple of weeks, actually. And also, I'm going to give you my video training. It's called How to Get as Many Business Credit Cards as You Want. It's the exact process of how I got stacks and stacks of business credit cards. And there's really no limit to how many you can get. So if you want to get that free video training, make sure you stay all the way to the end of our webinar. Before I can talk about business credit, I have to give a quick disclaimer, which is that individual results may vary. Please consult a tax qualified professional and attorney before proceeding. So what is business credit? Basically, business credit is credit that's in your company name that doesn't show in your personal credit report. So there's a lot of benefits of business credit, like it doesn't affect your utilization. And what that means is that, like in the personal credit world, the more you max out your personal credit card, it'll actually hurt your score. Whereas in the business credit world, if you max out your business credit cards, it doesn't actually hurt or affect your personal credit score. So that's like number one, biggest benefit of business credit. It doesn't affect your utilization. Number two, it's good to keep your business expenses separate from your personal expenses. And it also, so business credit is a great way to make things a little bit easier for taxes, but also for asset protection as well. And third, higher limits. The first business credit card I ever got was from Chase. I got for $25,000. Prior to that business credit card, the highest personal credit card I had ever gotten was under $10,000. So benefits of business credit, you can get higher limits. That means you get more money to do more deals, right? And obtain more freedom or scale your business or whatever. And doesn't affect your credit utilization. And it's always good to keep things separate. Now, quick story on how this started. For those that don't know me, I always knew that I wanted more from life than just a 9-to-5. I was working for someone else about 15 years ago. And a friend of mine, he introduced me to real estate as a way to make money. And from that, I learned about business credit. I got an email that said some kid walked into a bank or something, got like 90 grand in 90 days of funding. And I was like, what? If I could get, 100 grand in funding or 90 grand in funding relatively quickly, I could do more marketing. So I could get more real estate deals. I could have a cash cushion to fall back on so I could quit my job and be a full-time investor, So I learned about business credit and I perfected the system over the last 13 years. So I've worked with thousands of students. I've bought every business credit program out there. We've interviewed over 4,200 local community banks and credit unions to learn about the real deal. People write a lot when they fill out surveys for our company. Why would you want to work with us? And they say that we produce real results, the real deal. So the way that you get there is by starting with the end in sight. So for me, the goal was get funding. So I started talking with all the bankers, the vice presidents of business lending, the branch managers. What does it take to get funding? What do you need to do? What are the steps? What are the secrets? How's your lending move? Things like that. And I built a huge database, a huge company, and I called it Business credit workshop. So we put people in a room that were looking to get funding for their business, and we put banks in the room that were looking to lend money to business owners. I mean, what an idea, right? And that's how Business Credit Workshop was born. So I use business credit to grow my business, leave my job, and now I'm trying to help a few people like yourself that want to obtain freedom. And this process works in all businesses, whether you're in trucking or e-commerce, Airbnb, real estate, or really any business, brick and mortar. It doesn't matter. If you're in America and you are a small business owner, then I can help you out. In the very beginning of my career, this is the real estate investment club that I attended. And, I sat in the back and no one really knew who I was at the time. And now I've moved up all the way to the front. So this is over 100 people in this audience that I started sharing with my message. It was actually happened by accident. I was at a event and I was telling someone else, hey, I just got 100 grand in business credit from a bank. None of it shows in my personal credit report. This is how I did it. And the guy running the event said, we were on lunch. He goes, when lunch is over, 15 minutes, I want you to stand up in front of the crowd, in front of the audience. I want you to share your story, share your message so you can help other people. I was like, no way, bro. I'm way too scared. But I thought about it. And then I I built up the courage and I said, okay, this might be a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I wrote out some steps on what I did, which I'm going to share with you guys today to get funding. And the rest was history. So that's really why I created and how I created Business Credit Workshop. And now, as you can see here, now we do mostly like Zoom calls and things like that digitally, because that's just where we're at, right? So here's some quick case studies of students that I've worked with recently, like Tim. He got $75,000 for his construction business. Robert hired me to work with him. He got his money's worth. He says, you're awesome. I never pay for business credit help ever again, thanks to the information I learned from you. Anthony got $50,000 in just 1 week. And look at Angela. She said, I wanted to share the experience I had with my first call to a bank. It went quite well. I printed the script and I highlighted questions to ask. And the first person I spoke to answered all my questions in detail. Why am I sharing this with you guys? I just told you I talked to 4,200 banks, right? So there is a process here of local community banks and credit unions that no one else knows about, that they don't have a big marketing budget and they have some incredible programs. Like you can get 100. I'm going to share with you today at the end of this webinar who these banks are, by the way. But I also want to share with you how you can find these banks for yourself. It's like the whole, teach a man to fish type of thing. So yeah, I'm going to teach you how to fish today. And at the end, we're going to all share some food. Fair enough? So Angela attended our Get Funded Challenge, and this is her results, which is she got over her fear of calling new banks. That's really important because you can only get so far if you do online applications. After you do Chase and you do Amex and you do all these online applications, how do you actually get stacks and stacks and stacks of unlimited business credit cards, unlimited business lines of credit? You got to get over your fear of calling new banks. And the niche, the specialty is that we find little known, unknown local community banks and credit no one's ever heard of, because that's where all the money is. And that's how people like Ernest Epps are getting $100,000 in business credit in just 30 days, is by working with these local community banks and credit unions. And Sergey, who I actually met at that real estate club I showed you a picture of a few minutes ago, got $320,000 in business credit working with us. Okay, so what I'm about to share with you, it works. These are the proven steps. This is the slide where you want to take a picture or screenshot or start taking notes. If you do take notes, you'll remember it a lot better than just taking a picture of it. But these are the core steps of building business credit and getting funding in today's day and age. So if you guys are ready to go, type in "let's go" in the chat so I can see that we are ready to go. We are ready to rock and roll. Norman says, let's go. Awesome. All right. Anthony says, let's go. All right. So these are let me share my screen again. These are the steps here. And the first step might sound a little bit obvious. I know half of you this will apply to, half of you it won't, but you got to set up your company, right? So you need to actually have a company that, in order to obtain business credit, you don't want to just use a sole proprietorship or a DBA. You need to have an LLC or a corporation. When you set up your company, there's a few things that you want to do. And I'm actually, like I promised, I'm going to do a little bit of screen sharing, because I find it's good to learn in the classroom, but it's also good to learn in like the real world, right? And that's what, to me, makes it more impactful. Okay, so different ways to create your company. You could hire an attorney, you could hire a CPA, you could go to the Secretary of State website, which is what I do, or you could use a company like LegalZoom. LegalZoom.com, they charge a small fee, and then whatever the state fee does, you can create a company in all different 50 states. So this is LegalZoom. This would be the first resource that I want to share with you guys that you could jot down. When you're setting up your company, you want to create your company in such a way that banks are willing to lend to you. So ideally, you want to create a company with a neutral name in a neutral line of business. So what that means is that if you're a real estate investor like I am, you might not want to call your company JTI Real Estate. Consider calling the company like JTI Management. The more neutral it is, the easier it is to get funding. Now, if you have a company set up already, that's fine. Let's work with what you have. Or maybe even consider creating a second entity, because there are some banks like PNC Bank and other portfolio banks like Chase, for example, where you can actually get more than one business credit card or line of credit if you have more than one entity. So sometimes it makes sense, assuming you have a legitimate business idea, right? A second business idea. So sometimes it does make sense to have more than one entity. Okay, step 2 is to boost up your business credit score. The website that we use in order to do this is called NAV. Boom, back to screen share. Can you guys all see my screen okay? You can see the website here that says NAV. If so, just type in yes in the chat. So NAV, they do a couple of things, right? Thank you everyone for saying yes. All right, good. They have a couple of different things, right? So in their pricing, the package I recommend is called the Business Loan Builder. It's $49 per month. And what it does is 2 things. It's going to boost your business credit score with Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax. Okay, that's the first thing. And then the second thing is it's going to allow you to track and monitor your business credit score. Okay, so that's why we use a company called NAV, that not only do they boost your business credit score with all 3 business credit bureaus that most banks check, which is Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax, but they also allow you to track and monitor your business credit score. So how cool is that? They're boosting up your score and they're letting you look at your score. And it's relatively inexpensive. The boost plan for $39 a month, that's a good plan too. But I get the $49 a month plan. It's a little bit more expensive, but it does give you full access to other resources that you need when you're trying to get no doc business lines of credit and business credit cards. So boosting up your business credit score, it's definitely important. There's also, of course, net 30 vendors that you can work with. There's also like gas card and store cards that you can get that report to the business credit bureau. So the most popular ones, if you've ever gone on YouTube, is like Quill and Uline and Granger, BP Gas and Valero and Marathon. Those are all good store cards or net 30 vendor accounts where you can actually go to Quill, create an account with them, and then you can actually order things like paper supplies, and then they'll ship you the product on net 30 terms, which means you have 30 days to pay the bill. You pay the bill on time. I pay it about a week before it's due. Then Quill will report, hey, this business did business with us on net 30 terms, and they paid on time. So they report that to the business credit bureau. That boosts up your business credit score. Does that make sense? Next is improved personal credit score. So there's 3 things that come to mind when we talk about boosting up your personal credit score. I know everyone talks about FICO score and stuff like that, but I want to give you a little more than that. Let me see if I can just draw right here. So the first thing is credit utilization. Okay. Credit utilization. Then we have age of like oldest trade line. And then lastly would be credit utilization, age, and then limit. Okay. So yeah, it is true that business credit doesn't show any personal credit report, but when you are going for no doc unsecured business line of credit and business credit cards, the banks are going to check both your business credit score and your personal credit score, either you or the person applying. Okay. So when you're looking at improving your personal credit score, you want to look at what is your credit utilization. Ideally, you want to be 25% or less. So it's cumulative, it's total. So all that means is like if you add up all your credit cards and your total balances is $2,500 of revolving debt on your personal side, and then your total limit is $10,000. So $2,500 balance, $10,000 limit, that's 25% utilization. So you want anything under that amount. Okay. Next is age. In a perfect world, you want to have a credit card or a trade line, a car loan, something at least 10 years old. And that is actually one of the reasons why a lot of like credit gurus will tell you don't close your oldest account, because sometimes it can actually hurt your score or your ability to get funding. And then lastly would be limit. So you want at least to have one card on your personal credit profile to be 10K, or higher. Okay. Now that's easier said than done. So one of the easiest examples I like to give is my wife was looking to get a business line of credit from a local bank here where we're located in New Jersey. And prior to her applying for the business line of credit, we went through these steps of getting business credit. And what I did is I had how many people are familiar with the authorized user technique? So what we did is I had an Amex with a $0 balance and a I forget, either 20 or 25,000. I think it's 20,000. So $20,000 limit. So $0 balance, $20,000 limit. And what we did was I added her as an authorized user to my American Express. Just went online and did it. It was pretty easy. And the card I had for over 10 years, the limit was over $10,000. And what it did is it brought her total cumulative personal credit utilization down. Now her utilization was well under 25%. And what that did was allow her to get approved. She got approved for the $50,000 no doc business line of credit from the bank. No doc, by the way, means you don't have to show tax returns or financials, right? So that's a quick lesson on improving your personal credit score. Does that help? Let me know in the comments if that helps. All right, cool. Very good. All right, so the next step is to network with local banks. This is a special step that I like to do also with screen sharing. So when you're networking with local community banks or credit unions, there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. You could just literally drive around and just start writing down names of banks that you've never heard of. That actually works really well. You can go to Google and just type in banks near me and then just start writing down all the banks you've never heard of, okay? Another way to do it is you just Google the top SBA lenders in your state. So an example would be I'm in New Jersey. So I do top SBA lenders, New Jersey, and it works in all 50 states. If you're having trouble finding your state, you could do a neighboring state, like you're in Missouri, you could get the list for Kansas, but keep digging. It's worth doing this step. So we do the top SBA lenders and then whatever the name of your state is. What will happen is SBA lenders comes up a lot. That's a pretty good website. But what I usually do is I go after there's a couple of databases here. You have the top SBA 7A lenders. You can grab that if you want. And then you can also grab the New Jersey list. When I click download PDF here, I can see in my state, and some of these banks lend to other states, by the way. So you can add that to your script when you're calling banks, finding out what programs they have. You can ask them specifically, do they lend to other states? Which is a great tip because you could find banks in Texas that lend to businesses in California and vice versa and things like that. So these are local community banks and credit unions. It's not that I'm looking to get an SBA loan. I'm looking to get a no-doc unsecured business line of credit or business credit card. But this is my method of finding the best banks. Here's one here. And I see Malik is here on the webinar. I believe he has funding with them. M&T Bank right now is doing up to 100 grand, no doc business lines of credit. I'm sorry, no doc, business line of credit up to $100,000 without showing tax returns. And then they also have a no doc business credit card up to $50,000. Okay. So I mean, the process works. And there's other banks here too. I mean, there's hundreds. There's over 200 banks just in New Jersey that we interviewed. But you want to call up the banks and you ask them, hey, I found you as one of the top small business lending banks. And I wanted to ask you what your requirements were for funding. And what they'll say is, okay, you need 2 years tax returns, we need financials, balance sheet, this, and that. And then this is the magic question. You say, okay, great. But do you have any programs that are no doc or low doc? And then you wait for an answer. You ask that question, what you'll find is a percentage of the banks that you're reaching out to offer no doc funding. So they'll say like M&T, up to 100 grand we can do with no tax returns. Other banks, it might only be up to 50 grand, or it could be up to 25 grand, or they might not even offer a no doc. But that's why you have a big list of banks to call. I do see a couple of questions coming in the chat. We have a special spot in the webinar for Q&A. So make sure to save your question from there. If I don't address it now, one of the questions is about, which is actually a great question with regards to like setting up your company, which is what do I do if like my company's in one state, I'm in the other state? You can get funding if you're in one state and your company's in another state, okay? And most likely what you're gonna have to do is get funding from the state where your business is registered in. But what I would look at is, that's what I told you earlier, talk to your CPA or your lawyer or whatever like that. But what I would the conversation I would have is, if you file as a foreign entity filing in the state that you physically live in, now you've opened up all the local community banks and credit unions in your state, in addition to wherever your LLC is. Okay, so that's something you definitely want to consider doing. That's a good question. Okay, so let's talk about networking with banks. So you put together your list of banks and what do you do? Like, who do you speak to, right? So those are some of the questions. So you call up and you say, hi, I'm interested in learning about your business line of credit program, or I'm interested in learning about your business credit card. I see that you offer a business credit card. I want to ask you a couple questions. Normally, they'll put you through to like a loan officer or the vice president of business lending. Once you get on the phone with them, then you ask, hey, I see that you're one of the top lending banks online, and I wanted to inquire as to what your process was for applying for funding. For example, what are your requirements for a business line of credit? And then they'll say, oh, you need tax returns, you need financials, et cetera. And then you say, great. And then the magic question is, sounds great. Tell me, do you have any special programs that are no doc or lower doc requirements? For example, I know some banks up to 100 grand or up to 50 grand, up to 25 grand, they do a low doc or no doc program. Okay, so hopefully that helps. At that point, you would then apply for business funding. So you want to apply with the banks that you've put together on your list, on your database, and you want to find as many local community banks and credit unions as you can that you can apply with. When you apply for funding, some of the banks that we work with are like, you can just apply online. Some of them you have to go into the branch. Before you took this webinar, you knew you could just go to chase.com and apply for a business credit card, right? And I can tell you right now that Chase, it happens to be in a decent lending mood. But what you may not know, or what you need to know, which can unlock the power of getting as many business credit cards as you could possibly ever want or need, is you want to actually start visiting the branches. And that's why I showed that testimonial earlier from Angela, who said she got over her fear of calling the banks. You want to overcome that. That's something I help you do, so that you can find the local community banks and the credit unions that are lending money that no one's ever heard of, and they're portfolio lenders. So write portfolio down and circle it on your paper. A portfolio lender is essentially a lender that lends their own money and makes their own rules. The quick story behind that is my dad was looking to get funding from a bank to do a deal in Ocean City, New Jersey. And he walked into the bank, and I didn't really think he was very qualified necessarily. Like, I knew we didn't come from money and things like that. And just being honest. And however, he walked out of the bank with a deal. I was wondering, how the heck do you pull it off? And what I realized is these little local banks, these little one branch banks, they invest and they have an interest in the community that they're in. Some of these banks and some of these credit unions have lending committees. So they actually meet and they get together to talk about your loan or your line of credit application or your business credit card, right? So what you want to do when you're applying, this is the next step here, of course, is applying for funding, is you want to work with an advocate at the bank, someone that can vouch for you, but kind of advocate for your approval, can help you, that knows the process of getting approvals and what's getting approved and what's getting denied, so that you can have the highest odds of getting approved. That's the magic of getting as much funding as you could ever possibly need, is when you start calling and networking with local community banks and credit unions. And when you meet with a point of contact at the bank, try to build a long-term relationship, not just a quick relationship, but as part of building a long-term relationship, try to see if you can connect with them on Facebook or on LinkedIn, or meet with them for coffee. I call it getting off the script, right? And that's where you actually build a lot of rapport with people, or go to networking events, or sometimes they're at like the Chamber of Commerce events and things like that. Start hanging out there, becoming, professional business friends with these bankers, because you're going to learn a lot more information than you could ever possibly learn at a webinar. At that point, after you apply for funding, there's only two things that can happen, right? You get approved or you get denied, right? Maybe you get approved for the amount you wanted, maybe you get approved for a little bit less, or maybe you get denied. Denials are part of the approval process, just so you know. So if you do get denied, all you need to do is learn why you got denied, write it out, reapply 30, 60 days. Don't take it personal, don't burn the bridge. Once you get the funding, once you get the approvals, at that point, you can invest your money into your business. I mean, that's the whole idea, right? Maybe you buy more equipment, or you buy, if you're in the Turo business, you can buy vehicles. For example, like Ally Financial has a pretty good program for vehicle financing. You can check them out. See if we can pull that up real quick. And it's actually business. So you have Ally Business Vehicle Financing. So you could use the money for business financing. You could use the money for scaling your business, investing in advertising, paying off your debt. That's one of the things I did. And I transferred my personal debt to my business so that my credit score went up. But there's a lot of options as far as what you can do as far as investing your business credit. I'm an advocate of good debt, which means you can put your business credit into an asset that brings you revenue or cash or financials, then you're in really good shape. All right. Now, there is still a problem that you might run into, and that is that banks don't always take you seriously if you're just starting out. And so the solution I came up with is to build a solid foundation and do it quickly. And that's why I came up with the Get Funded Challenge. The Get Funded Challenge is a 5-day challenge where you're going to learn step-by-step process of building your foundation quickly for your business and going into all the core topics I just shared with you briefly. But we actually it's 5 days. So we spend each day on each topic. So we start usually on a Monday morning. That'd be day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. The reason why I like doing challenges is they're way more impactful than just a webinar or training or buying a book and having it sit on the shelf. The way these challenges work, if you want to look at the schedule, is I give you an assignment in the morning, like a video lesson in the morning, and that's the assignment. And then you have hours, you have a day to complete that challenge. So every day is 5-day challenge. Every day you get a lesson of what we're learning that day, and then you get a challenge item on what you need to get completed within 24 hours. It forces you to do things, and it keeps it on top of your mind. And then I also offer live chat support. So we have a private chat room for everyone that's been in one of my challenges. I see there's a couple of people here that have been in our Get Funded challenge. So, hey guys, but I give you live chat support. So if you have questions during the challenge, I can help you out with that. So what you're going to learn in the Get Funded challenge is on day one, setting up your base. So everything from creating the entity, building out your company, launching the company, like making sure your online presence looks good and you're controlling what banks can see, and that your license is in good place and you're in good standing, like all that kind of technical stuff, but it is important. Day two, we're going to talk in detail about boosting up your business credit profiles. Day three is boosting up your personal credit profiles and like what to do in case like you don't have great credit. Day four is calling banks. That's my favorite day, because I'm actually sharing with you the real scripts that you can follow, and I share with you the process to outsource it. So I would always recommend make a few calls yourself so that you can get used to calling banks, but then you can hire someone to do the rest for you. And I give you the actual job description that I posted on Upwork, and then the actual job description and the scripts and everything like that. And then day five is putting it all together, and we actually go through sample applications and apply for funding. So funding, what does that mean? It means identifying no doc lenders. It's not that we don't have tax returns to show in every case. It's just a matter of if you can do no doc funding, it's a little easier to get funding from banks. It's quicker, and it usually means that they're in a good lending mood. And what that means is we work with banks that do business credit cards, business lines of credit, and fintech companies, like financial technology companies. You do apply using stated income, which means that the bank is going off the gross sales, the revenue on the application. So an example would be most banks lend 10 to 15% of the gross revenue of the sales. Okay, so if you have stated 500,000 in gross sales on the application, that's like the top line number, then the bank would give you up to $50,000 or more in funding. And what do you want to do with that? Use the money to fund your business, scale your company, pay off your debt, buy more deals, add more vehicles, get more inventory for your e-commerce business, etc. Let me know in the chat what you would do with $100,000 in business credit, and assuming you could get it quickly. I'm curious. And then rinse, wash, repeat, right? So here's some resources to help you get there pretty quickly. The first thing is personal credit. And Jose says he would buy real estate. That's Kieran says pay off debt. Beautiful. So what I do is I use my FICO doc. That's a website that I use to monitor and track my personal credit score. It also gives me push notifications on my cell phone. So like if I'm using the authorized user technique that I just shared with you, the moment my personal credit utilization is adjusted, I get a push notification on my phone. So I like to use my FICO. You can write that down. And it's the only website that gives you all three FICO score 8. And that's a score that we want to know. That's what we want to look at. Bull says scale the business. Anthony says get properties. Henry would get equipment, and Dietrich would pay off a lot of debt and then buy real estate. Business credit, we talked about those two benefits of getting a NAV account. So if you don't have one already, please put on your to-do list that you want to go get a NAV account. I would recommend the loan builder package, which is the higher tier plan. So that not only do you boost up your business credit score, but you can track and monitor your business credit score. Do that now because they report at the end of the month. So this way you can get as fast as possible. You can get that to report. So next month you already have your business credit score established. Lending, we have a big resource of lenders that we work with. And again, we're not doing SBA loans. We just figured they're small business friendly because they're top ranked from the Small Business Administration, which means they have a very likely high chance of having no doc programs. And then fintech companies, like, has anyone ever heard of Capital on Tap? Capital on Tap is not Capital One. Capital on Tap is a fintech, financial technology company underwritten through WebBank. Those are things that we look at. Who's the underwriter and what's their overall lending mood? They happen to be in a really good lending mood. And then our community, another resource to help you get there is not only we have our Facebook group, but as I mentioned before, we have our private chat room. There's 3 legs of credit and this is a gap where I feel like most people that are teaching business credit, they won't share this with you, especially some of the jokers on like TikTok and Instagram doing their reels, is is they're just kind of dropping the ball at explaining this part properly. So there's three legs of credit. At the core, at the center is business credit. We know we got to boost up our business credit score. We know we got to build up our company in such a way that banks are willing to lend to us. We got to control our online presence. In a perfect world, we have a neutral name, neutral line of business, things like that. And we would have a handful of positive reporting trade lines for our business. But beyond that, you need to actually bring at least one leg of credit to the table. If you're going no doc and unsecured, no doc means no tax returns, no revenue, no sales, like nothing. We're not showing anything like that, right? And then unsecured means we're not giving up any assets or accounts receivables or equity, equipment, things like that. So most people want like no doc, unsecured, business lines of credit, business credit cards. It's a quick and easy thing. So then the leg of credit that's remaining is your personal credit score and FICO score. So what do you do if your personal credit score isn't good? And yes, I do have a full day training on this inside the Get Funded Challenge. I'd be honored if you would join us on the next one. But another thing that we talked about at the challenge, what I want to share with you now, is you could use a credit partner. So if you're using a credit partner, a lot of people might use like a business partner or spouse or family or friend, where on the top of the application is the business information and the bottom of the application is the credit partner information. Obviously, if you're using a credit partner, this may not be so obvious, make sure that they know that they're on the hook for the debt, right? If something went wrong, it could go bad. So both parties need to be aware of what they're getting into and have something in writing. But so it can go bad, but it could also go good. If it goes good, what happens is you have your partner that maybe has great credit and you don't. So you bring in that credit partner, and now you're able to go get business credit funding that's no doc and unsecured. Does that make sense? All right, so you guys told me a lot of things of what you would do with business credit, like scale your business, get properties, pay off setup costs, says Anthony. I like that. There's a lot of things that you could do with business credit. And what I want to share with you is what's included in the Get Funded Challenge, so you can make a decision today if it's something that you want to jump in and be a part of. Okay. So inside, when you join the Get Funded Challenge, here's what you're going to get. You're going to get the 5-day Get Funded Challenge itself. That's a $1,997 value. You're going to get the outreach bank scripts. These are the same scripts that my 2 US-based employees use to call all of these banks. Okay, it's the exact scripts that they use when we called over 4,200 banks. That's a $397 value that's included when you get the Get Funded Challenge today. I'm going to give you a hiring guideline so you can outsource this entire process. You don't have to call 4,000 banks. You can just call a couple hundred in your state. But if you want to outsource it, you can, and then that's how you can actually get unlimited amounts of funding. I'm going to give you the personal credit basics training, which is like quick tips and then long-term strategies to boost up or even repair your credit. So that's personal credit basics, including like cleaning up any inaccuracies in your credit. Sample application, that's $197 value. So you actually know how to fill out the application before filling it out. And chat. So it's actual live chat support from me during the 5-day challenge. So if you have questions, you can ask. And then there's also a lot of people in there. There's a few hundred people in the chat room that can also help you out. So you can be part of our community. Plus, there's additional bonuses that I'm not even going to mention that you're going to find out when you join the challenge. So total value, if we add all that up, is $4,585. And I'm going to give a bonus to the first 10 people that join the Get Funded Challenge right now that are watching this. For the first 10 people, you're going to get access to my home study course. So I have a home study course, which is like 7 steps of building business credit. It has video modules. It has like spreadsheets, templates to use. It's a course. It's my home study course that you're going to get access for free. It's a $997 value. And this is for the first 10 people only that jump on and get the Get Funded Challenge. So total value is over $4,500. There's companies out there on the internet right now that'll charge you 10% of the funding that they get you. So that means if they get you, if you get like $100,000 in business credit, you owe them $10,000. That's crazy. And if I wanted to, I could probably charge $750 for this challenge. That would be a great deal, but it's not going to be $750. In fact, it's not going to be $497. It's only $147 for the 5-day Get Funded Challenge. And if you want to take advantage of that, you want to go to fundedchallenge.com and you want to be, Gina already says I'll take it. You want to be one of the first 10 to get it. So I'll give you the link here inside the chat here. So this is actually what it looks like. So check this out. So this is the Get Funded Challenge. You'll see a timer at the top showing when your challenge begins. But the The Get Funded Challenge, by the way, if you can't make the dates for the challenge, you do have an opportunity to purchase replays of the challenge. It's only an extra $20, by the way. So I definitely recommend, if you're going to grab the challenge, just you get extra $20. You get lifetime replay access, which is always a good thing to have, so that you could watch it really at any point that you want to. So that's the Get Funded Challenge. I just put the link in the chat. What happens is you go there, you click, you're interested in the challenge, you enter your name and email, and you submit it. On the next page, you enter in your credit card information. And then let me show you actually. And there's a couple of things for those of you that are still with me. I still want to share with you my hottest lenders and give away my bonus that I promised. So I did not forget about you, but I wanted to show you guys what happens when you get the Get Funded Challenge, like what it looks like inside. I'm just going to log in real quick. So when you join the Get Funded Challenge, one of the first things you want to do is watch this welcome video. It's 5 minutes long, but it's going to get your head straight so that you know like what to expect from the challenge and how to get ready. Inside of the challenge is a Google Drive folder, and inside the folder is this really cool award system tracker. Now, I did say I wasn't going to tell you all the bonuses, so I'm not going to give everything away, but there's a competition inside of the challenge. And that's what helps so many students. We have over 200 testimonials for this one program, the Get Funded Challenge, because every day you have an opportunity to earn points for sharing what you learned, for helping other people in the community, for doing your homework and things like that. And then all these points add up at the end of the week. And then you get really cool awards, including like special bonus calls with me and special training and swag and all that fun stuff. So I won't spoil all of it, but I just wanted to show you what inside, like what it looks like. You get this lesson here. Like lesson 1, for example, is an hour long. And then you have the Google Drive folder, which contains like your homework. You go to day 1, and then you have like a checklist. You have your homework assignment. And by doing the challenge item each day, you earn points. So not only do you get the lesson, but you also get a homework, you get a challenge assignment. That's what gets you to see results, right? That's why this is different than just a course that you buy and it sits on the shelf, right? I want you guys to take action, and I want you to have chat support and access to me while you're going through the challenge, so that you can see the results that you deserve. So okay, so that's the special offer. That's the bonus. So it's $147, which is crazy cheap. Paul just signed up. Thank you, Paul. Oh, wow. Yep, I see you. A couple of people just signed up. So thank you. Thank you, Paul. So Paul, like I just said, you're going to get your username and password emailed to you. Log in a few minutes, and we'll just watch that 5-minute welcome video so that you can get a head start on the challenge. So welcome, Paul. It's good to see you. It's good to have you. Deborah just signed up. So welcome, Deborah. It's so good to have you as part of the challenge. I can't wait to work with you. I can't wait to see you inside of the actual challenge. Yeah, let's actually, you know what? Let's open it up right now to Q&A, questions and answers. So a question came in here, which is, do you show how to get rid of inquiries? So I believe it's on day 3 where we talk about personal credit boosting. That is one of the things that we cover. Techniques of deleting unauthorized credit inquiries. One of them is a more aggressive approach, and the other one's a little bit more conservative. So yes, we do cover that. When does the challenge start? So what you want to do is actually go to the website, fundedchallenge.com. Or if you want, I just put the link there, or you might even have like a pop-up that comes up on the screen, but you can click on that link. It's businesscreditworkshop.net/challenge. It all gets you to the same place, but go ahead and click on that, and then you'll actually see when the next challenge is. What do they ask in low doc programs? That's a great question. So they're going to ask like what your revenue is, how many years you've been in business. And as I mentioned, inside of the challenge, I'm actually going to give you sample applications so that you can be ready for that. Norman says, if you haven't taken it yet, it's well worth what he's charging. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. All right, so feel free to keep asking questions. We just had another sale come through. So another person that is joining us on the Get Funded Challenge, Gina. Say hello, Gina. Thank you very much for joining our Get Funded Challenge. I can't wait to work with you and see you inside of the challenge. Oh, so Jackie, this is actually one of the best questions is, what do I do if I don't have a lot of revenue? The Get Funded Challenge is built around if you don't have any revenue, or if you have very low revenue. A lot of the banks we work with like many of the banks that we work with so most banks don't do this, but many of the banks we work with allow you to make projections on your revenue. So how cool is that? So yeah, so you join the challenge, and we're going to cover exactly that. Kenny asks if he gets a replay. Yeah, if you registered for this webinar, you do get access to a replay. All right. So if you want to learn how to build up your business properly, if you want to learn how to find unlimited community banks and credit unions, how to obtain business credit quickly, and you want access to our current lenders, then what do you got to do? All in just 5 days. You want to do all that in just 5 days? Come join us at the next Get Funded Challenge. You just simply go to fundedchallenge.com, or you can click one of the links that's inside here of the webinar and go ahead and enter in your information, and you'll get a confirmation. There is so for example, congratulations to Gina, who just bought there's actually a real estate challenge also when you get the Get Funded Challenge. So you can upgrade your order if you're a real estate investor and you want to learn how I got 14 properties without having to use my own money, without having to use any of my own funding. I used business credit. So I don't want to get too off topic, but as a real estate investor, I put a little secret offer in there. Once you get the Get Funded Challenge, if you want, you can upgrade your offer to our real estate challenge. And it's a really amazing challenge. And there's a lot of bonuses in there on how I used business credit to build up a real estate empire. So what do? Yeah, you go to fundedchallenge.com and go ahead and grab the access to the challenge. One of the common questions is like, is there a money back guarantee? There's a 30-day money back guarantee. So if you feel like the challenge is not for you, I want to take the risk off of your shoulders here today. In case you're making, like a spur of the moment decision, you got 30 days from when you join. So you take the challenge and you actually still have some time. So point being, 30-day money back guarantee. The details are right there on the website. So we take that risk off of your shoulders. Okay, so it is decision time. You want to trust your gut. This isn't for everyone. Not everyone's going to actually take action and get the business credit and the funding that they deserve. However, if you do feel something clicked for you today on this webinar while you're watching this, then and maybe you had the realization this could work for you, then go ahead. If you feel what I said makes sense and what I'm saying is resonating with you, then I do encourage you to go ahead and get the Get Funded Challenge, because it's super, super, super impactful. So I do want to thank everyone that is here. This QR code is just simply brings you to the website to grab the Get Funded Challenge, by the way, in case you're on a computer or whatever. But all right, so how many people are still here? A lot of people. All right. So if you're still here, let me share with you some hot lenders. All right. Paula says I'm here. And also thank you. I don't want to forget anyone. Thank you to Carrie Ann for joining the Get Funded Challenge. Oh, a couple people actually. Moss. Hello, Moss. Thank you very much. Moss and Tiffany also got the real estate challenge. We had Gina and Tiffany both upgraded the order to grab the real estate challenge as well. Awesome. Can't wait to see you guys. That also includes chat support as well. So you got something really amazing that I put a lot of energy in. And so I'm very happy and very proud to have you guys kind of join our community, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun and very impactful. All right, so here's some hot lenders that we work with. So PNC Bank is the first one. This is a screenshot from the chat room, and that I want you guys to come join, come be a part of. There's a lot of good information inside the chat, right? So I cannot make the group call today, but I got approved for $100,000 with PNC. He got a $75,000 line of credit, no doc, unsecured business line of credit, and $25,000 business credit card. Thanks, Joe. And you can see like we're very community focused in our chat room. You can see, right here, you got the 3 people gave like the hooray symbol there. So you can write that down as one of the hot lenders. Here's another one. Citizens Bank is right now in a very good lending mood, and they lend in a lot of different states like Connecticut, Michigan, Pennsylvania, a bunch of different states. As of now, they're pulling Equifax. That's the one bureau that they pull. And Greg just got an approval for a $50,000 business credit card from Citizens Bank, 0% for 1 year. So if you're in luck, if you have a Citizens in your area. And what else can I tell you about that? They also do no doc business lines of credit also. There's a whole bunch of banks. This is actually a spreadsheet. This is actually what I teach you how to build, which is to build a spreadsheet, like a database of banks, and then interview them and ask them, like, do you have any unsecured no doc programs? Another question we have you ask is like, do you offer business credit cards? And so like, Ultra Federal Credit Union will say, yeah, we do offer business credit cards. And then you say, great, this is another magic question. So for those of you that are still here, I'm still dropping value bombs. Okay. The question you want to ask is, yeah, we have business credit cards. You say, great. Is it your own business credit card, or is it through like a party? That's the magic question you want to ask. So what you'll find is about 25% of the banks that you call roughly offer their own business credit card, which means portfolio lender, which means they lend their own money, which means they make their own rules, which means there's no limit to how many business credit cards you can get. And as a special added secret, I'll share with you, a lot of the banks don't report utilization really anywhere. So it's not reporting on your business credit reports. And we already talked about earlier, 99% of these cards, like the ones I get and work with and help you do the same don't show on your personal credit report. So it's important. So anyway, so this is one of those. I just wanted to show you that, yeah, you still have some time right now if you want to sign up for the Get Funded Challenge. Just $147 going to get you the 5-day challenge, and that's 5 lessons plus 5 challenges. Every day you get a lesson and you get a challenge, and we have a competition, we have live chat in there, and it's a lot of fun. So there's the link again to grab the Get Funded Challenge. So this is the spreadsheet that I actually teach in on how to build. This is another card that students of ours have recently got. It's the PayPal business credit card that just came out recently, and they're in a pretty good lending mood. I think their underwriter is WebBank. That's always something we look at, as well as like, who's the underwriter, which bureau do they pull? I mean, we can go as deep down the rabbit hole as we need to, right? Or sometimes we just try to keep it real simple. But this is a great lender business credit card that you can look into that we just got approvals with this month that I wanted to share with you. If you didn't get the login yet, don't worry. You can check your spam or your promotions folder. It may have accidentally went there, but give it an hour, 1 hour, and then it'll be sent to you. Marcus. So not a lot of people know about this card. This is, and also thank you to Farouk, who just joined the Get Funded Challenge. Welcome. So, okay, so this is a card. I think I have it here. I do. All right, so this is a card that I have. It's a really cool card. It's Marcus by Goldman Sachs, and it's a GM business credit card, and it's a good card. I just got, I think it was $20,000 with them, and it's a lot of these like cards that I'm trying to share with you, I'm hoping you may not have heard of. Like, I know everyone's heard of Chase and Amex and all that, but these are some of the less known cards. And Deborah says, I have a Marcus GM credit card. Awesome. Yes. And yeah, the bonus will come when you log in to the student portal. It will have the bonus in there for the first 10 people, which we're getting close. Okay, let's keep going. This is an advanced strategy. So I just want to let's talk about seasoning for a moment. Not a lot of people talk about this. I figured, hey, if you're still here on this webinar, let me just keep dropping some value for you, right? So this is a company called Wyoming Company, and the reason I bring this up is that I saw it come up in one of the comments is like, how old does my business have to be in business for? Can you guys see Wyoming here? I think you can. So this is a company that they do sell aged shelf companies. Now, you don't really need to do this. Yes. Okay, great. Thank you. So you don't really need to do this step, right? You can have a brand new company and you can go get business credit like I did. You can clear 6 figures or more, $250,000 and more in getting business credit cards and things like that. It's no problem. But you can also look at, if you have a seasoned company that's more than 2 years old, it's a lot easier to get business lines of credit with a seasoned company versus non-seasoned. So there's a lot of like misinformation out there on the internet, and like there's a little bit of, sometimes you got companies or people that tell you like they'll sell you a seasoned company and it has business credit already. I'd be really careful about that. If you're looking to get an aged shelf company or a seasoned company, I would look into a company that does not have an EIN issued yet, like meaning it's a clean company with no history, no track record, because you don't want to buy a company that's dirty and has debt associated with it or something like that, right? So a couple of my students use wyomingcompany.com to buy aged shelf corps or seasoned entities that are at least 2 years or older, and they're clean in the sense that like they don't have any debt attached to it. And then you start all the steps of boosting its business credit profile and things like that. Obviously, I always have to say this, that you need to do your own due diligence, right? You go look at their reviews on Trustpilot and Better Business Bureau. I mean, that you can see they have a good rating and everything like that, but always just do your own due diligence. But I wanted to just share that, especially for those that are still here that maybe are looking for some more advanced strategies. Okay, so if you're still here and maybe you didn't get the Get Challenge, I wanted to just share with you that I do have another program that's called BCW Online, and it's something that I've been doing for years, and it includes monthly Ask Joe calls. So like if you want to like work with me long term, beyond the 5-day challenge, or maybe the 5-day challenge wasn't your style or whatever, I wanted to offer you something else. So it's called monthly Ask Joe calls. So every month you can ask me live on a Zoom call any question about getting business credit, and I answer it for you. You also get up to the last 12 months worth of phone calls, which I'm going to show you what that looks like. And you can access up-to-date lenders and tutorials. So this is something completely different than the Get Funded Challenge. This is for like ongoing support. This is my monthly membership program, which I barely ever talk about, but I'm there. I'm there every month. And let me show you, it's really good. So it's only $47 a month, by the way. So if that's a little bit more budget friendly, I just wanted to mention it since there's a lot of people still here. It's a great program. Look at all these calls, like 30, 40 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, etc. And then what I do on these Ask Joe calls, you're going to get access to all these. And there's more than a year's worth on here. But on these Ask Joe calls, you can ask me any question about getting business credit. We talk about active lenders. I have a little thing that says like links here. So like I talked about the business dispute process. So like what happened, one of the questions that came up on the Ask Joe calls, one of my payments is reporting late for my business. What do I do? So then I shared with that person and everyone else in the community, this is how you dispute negative items on your business credit reports. Like how do you boost up your business credit report? And how do you delete negative items from your business credit report? So it's something extra I wanted to offer to you guys. It is separate from the Get Funded Challenge. You want that too? Okay, here we go, Gina. So it's called BCW Online, just $47 a month. And every month we get together and it's like this, except it's an Ask Joe call. So it's like you have your question ready and I answer for you. And it's just $47 a month, but there's something extra special that I wanted to show you. So inside of I think I have to log out and log in real quick. Okay, so now I'm in as a member. So this is what you'll see, right? So you have Ask Joe any question right here, with all the calls, and you can see when our next call is. It's coming up. You have notes and links from the calls, and then you have all the past access to all the last Ask Joe calls. But in addition to that, there's like all these different modules and trainings and business credit tutorials. I have real estate training for those of you that might be in real estate. I have current lenders, which is the list of the hottest, most recent lenders. And it's a great opportunity not only to go through my system, but to also have ongoing monthly support from me. And then every month be able to jump on a call with me and I can answer questions, and I provide new tutorials on how to get business credit and things like that every month. So, okay, cool. Jose already signed up. Awesome. So that's called Business Credit Workshop Online. And it includes the Ask Joe any question that's included in the $47 a month is all the tutorials, all the training modules, and it includes the Ask Joe calls, which I'm really happy of. I'm really proud of. And then once you join, same thing, you'll enter your credit card information. This is what it looks like. So if you want to join Ask Joe, the BCW Online is what we call it. That's the link to join. It's businesscreditworkshop.me. And then you could click sign up and it brings you here. And then all you do, you can see you get exclusive content, monthly tutorials, monthly coaching calls, current lenders. Also, there's a 30-day money back guarantee on that, of course, as well. And all you do is just enter in your information, credit card, and submit the payment, and boom. And then you'll get your username and your password. And then I also have some special bonuses if you join the Business Credit Workshop Online. Okay, so I figured I'd give you a couple options. You got the Get Funded Challenge. That's our 5-day challenge for $147. And then we also have our Ask Joe call, our Business Credit Workshop Online monthly membership community, which I've been running for, a long time, 13, 14, 15 years. And that's only $47 a month. So now you have a couple different options. And you can do both. A lot of people do, of course. And I'd be happy to see you there. So what I'll do now is we're pretty much wrapped up. At this point, if you got to run, you're free to go. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang out for a little bit and just check out some of the questions just to make sure I didn't miss any questions. You could retype it if you want, if you feel like I accidentally skipped over it. Chase told me only business credit card, no docs not available. Is this branch specific? So Chase is a no doc business credit card lender. So their business line of credit is not no doc though. So there's two different programs there. That's a good question. But what if our business is more of a startup without much income history? So we're going to cover that inside the Get Funded Challenge, and specifically working with banks that allow you to make projections on income and revenue, etc. Will I have to show PG with no doc? Yes, it's still personally guaranteed, but the business credit doesn't show any personal credit report. Oh, okay. And then so that came in twice. Okay, cool. All right. John wants to know, can you join the Get Funded Challenge Wednesday? It's first come, first serve, so I can't make any guarantees on that. But what you would do is go to the link. As long as it doesn't say sold out, then yes, you would be able to come back in a day or two. But you probably wouldn't. I would imagine you wouldn't be able to get the first 10 people bonus. That's the first 10 people only. A bunch of sales came in too. I just want to give everyone a shout out. Special shout out to RF Consulting. Doesn't say your name. It said it earlier. Shout out to you. Just got the real estate challenge. Johnson just got the Get Funded challenge. We had a couple of people join BCW Online. Gina, hello, welcome to BCW Online. So next call is coming up soon. I can't wait to help you out on the next Ask Joe call. And every month I'll be there to answer your business credit questions, talk to you about like the newest lenders, and you can check out all the tutorials and all the awesome information we have inside of our membership site. So welcome, Gina, to Business Credit Workshop Online and our Ask Joe call. And Dwight Samwells as well. Dwight, thank you. Welcome to the Get Funded Challenge. Can't wait to work with you. All right. So if there's any questions, I'll just do a quick. I don't think there's any other questions, but did you speak on Paydex score? So what you want to do is Paydex score is a part of Dun & Bradstreet. You need to have at least one positive reporting trade line on your Dun & Bradstreet profile. There I am. So you want to have at least, so that's why I would recommend get a NAV account, because NAV is pretty quick at boosting up your business credit score. So I would definitely go get a NAV account. Now, as far as getting the Paydex score, you would need to get additional vendor accounts to get 3 reporting trade lines on Dun & Bradstreet, and then that will get you the Paydex score. So we did give out some other vendors that you could use on this webinar. Yes. What's easier to get from banks, credit cards or lines of credit? It's definitely credit cards, but if you're getting the no-doc business lines of credit, then that can be easier as well, because you're finding the banks that offer those special types of programs. What's a good NAV score to shoot for? What you want to have is at least one positive reporting trade line on all 3 business credit bureaus, Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, Equifax. That would be the minimum, but the score to shoot for, like the ideal score, would be at least 3 trade lines on Dun & Bradstreet, 3 on Experian, 1 on Equifax. Tiffany, yeah, if you need any customer support or anything like that, we are here for you. You can email info@creditworkshop.com. So I just put that into the chat. Let's see, will there be, credit card liquidation methods? We don't go into heavy details on it, but I do share with you processes of pulling cash off business credit cards and companies that will charge your card and then mail a check also. It's not a heavy focus, but we spend 5-10 minutes on how to pull cash off business credit cards. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of this webinar. It's been amazing to have you here. Thank you for spending your time with me. I hope I made it valuable for you. If you didn't decide to purchase anything today, that's fine. I wanted to provide value to you in exchange for your time. So tell a friend and join us on our next webinar. You're always welcome. And thank you for being a part of our community. For those of you that have made an investment in yourselves today and have bought the Get Funded Challenge or joined the BCW Online Ask Joe's series, welcome to our special monthly membership site. And for those of you that joined the Get Funded Challenge, you're going to love it. You really are. It's an incredible way to have like camaraderie and accountability and get you to do things that even things you might know you need to do, but like you just need a little push to get there. You know, it's not too high pressured either. Like I won't give you too much to where you get overwhelmed. Okay. Just be like, hey, here's your simple homework assignment. Get it done by tomorrow. Let's go. And I'm gonna pour my heart and soul into it. It's Get Funded Challenge is the most rewarding program I've ever done, because it's brought more success than any other program I've done as far as like feedback and testimonials. And I think the reason for that is a challenge has your attention. And when you're competing with other people, it makes you do things. Right. So Get Funded Challenge is a daily lesson. Then you have your homework or your challenge item. And then, you know, that keeps you accountable. So it's awesome. You're going to absolutely love it. You made a great decision. And I can't wait to see you on the other side. So everyone's saying thank you, thank you, thank you. You're welcome. And I can't wait to see you inside the training and inside the challenge. Until next time. Bye-bye.